Hi, and another Wednesday night on the Open Mic Magic Show. Great to see you all. We have a fabulous gallery out there. So I'm just going to take a look at my gallery on the other screen and wave to you all. Great to see you all. Great to see so many people coming along tonight. We have a fantastic show lined up for you. Well, we always have a great show on Wednesday, but tonight is no exception. And round about halfway through the show, we have a special guest. The first woman president of the Magic Circle, the wonderful Swann, will be with us. So let's just get right on with the show. So our first performer of the night, unfortunately, had a little argument with a truck and her car earlier this week, and so we've got her. She is in the audience, but decided didn't want to perform yet. That's Robina, but we have a video from a few years ago. Here we go. This is Robina. Fabulous. Thanks, Robin. We love that. Okay, so from the southern part of the USA, Texas, where it is extremely hot at the moment, and thunderstorms last night, Robin. Yeah, complete downfall. So over from across the pond to what Tommy Burnett calls the mystical Isle of Man, to our fantastic next performer. Welcome along, Michael Kelly. Hi there, Michael.
Hello, Kevin. Thank you. I've got something exciting for you tonight. A game show. You can win a prize. But who's going to? Can I have a volunteer, please? Somebody who'd like to play the game.
Hey. Come on,
Hi,
Michael.
Mitch.
Hey,
How
what's
you
up,
doing?
Mike? Hey, pretty good. How are you?
I'm great, thanks. Now, it's very simple. I've got a grid here of 16 cards. And what you're going to do, we're going to choose one from each column and one from each row. So we'll end up with 4. So to make your choices, which row would you like to start with? 1, 2, 3, or 4?
Ooh, let's go with lucky number 3.
Number 3. And which column would you like? 1, 2, 3, or 4?
Lucky number 3.
Number 3. Okay, we'll turn over your first chosen card. It's a tarot card. It's the Lovers.
Okay.
So we leave that in its place. Now I said one card from each column and row. So we'll take away the others in that row. And they are all different. And we will take away the others in that column. And that still leaves you with a fair few cards to choose from in the other columns and rows. Which is your next row? 1, 2, or 4?
Let's go with 4.
We're going down the bottom and the column 1, 2, or 4.
Number 2.
Number 2. We have the Monk, sometimes called the Hermit. So we'll take away the remaining ones in that row. And we'll take away the remaining ones in that column. Now, row 1 or 2?
Let's go with row 1.
Okay. And column 1 or 4?
Ooh, let's go with 4.
This one here.
That's
the Emperor.
Nice.
So we will take away the other one in that row and the other one in that column. And that will just leave you with 1. The first card in row 2, which is the Devil. So we picked 4 cards. You could have picked any in any combination as long as they were in different rows and columns. And what we're going to do now, I've got 5 possible prizes. You may win a prize. Each of these bags has a number and a tag. We've got a 27, a 34, a 13, a 53, and a 41.
Okay.
Each tarot card has a number. If the numbers on your cards total the number on one of the tags, you will win the contents of that bag.
All right. Okay.
So we have in the first column the Devil, which is number 15. The Monk is number 9. 15 plus 9
is 24.
24. The Lovers is number 6, which makes 30. And the Emperor, although the number isn't written on the top, is number 4, as anyone who knows tarot will confirm. I'm not pulling your leg. So we have a total of 34.
Uh-huh.
And there is a tag here, number 34. So you have won a prize.
Huh. Okay. Okay.
Let's see what you got. This is the exciting bit.
What'd I win?
Huh? Congratulations, you've won a tarot reading.
Oh.
I bet Bill is wishing he played now.
That's a
So
great prize.
It is. It's the best prize of the lot that you could possibly have won. Let's read the cards that you had out here. We had the devil. There's a touch of mischief about you. You may be the kind of person to poke fun at Paul Cooper.
Thank you.
And yet, maybe you don't always express it because there's also a reserve. You know, you hide your mischief beneath a calm and reflective exterior.
Ooh.
The Lovers is an interesting card. It does imply romance, of course. Maybe you're going to be seeing a romantic few months ahead of you, but also it implies the choice between one person and others, somebody you commit to. So the card is really about choice. There's a choice that you will be making. And you will make it with full sovereignty and authority. Trust your own judgment. You're the emperor. Everything will go swimmingly.
I like that one.
That's your prize, a tarot reading. Let's see what you could have won if you'd chosen one of the others. Well, this bag contains a £20 note. That is a real £20 note. It's a Manx one. This bag contains a £20 note.
Oh man. Oh.
This bag contains a £20 note.
That's $60 right there.
This bag contains a £20 note. That's £80, which would actually be over $100. But I got to tell you, Mitch, I'd have rather have the tarot reading. So you did well there. I'll just have to make do with this, eh?
Thank you, Michael. That was a great tarot reading. That was amazing. Thank you.
You're a great winner. Back to you, Kevin. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
Right, remind me never to play cards with you, Michael. Thanks, Michael. Thanks, Mitch, for taking part in that. Okay, so back from the Isle of Man to the mainland, to down south here, to a little bit north of Brighton, to our next performer. Does fantastic magic. That's all I can say about George Smith. Come in, George.
Good evening, everyone. I'm George, world famous magician. Happy to be here performing again. I do need a volunteer for my routine as well. I see David in the audience. Dave Minton, do you mind helping me with this?
Sure, no worries.
Thank you. I'm up on screen.
That's a huge instrument you have there.
Yes, I mean, I've been told more than once. More than once. I've been thinking about how magicians predict the future. So, for example, I'm going to start off nice and simple with you, David. In this glass here, I've got 4 cards. My 4 favourites, obviously, the 4 queens. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hand them to you invisibly. Can you just take those off me?
Yeah, got those.
Lovely, thank you. Of the 4 queens, can you just check they're all there for me? Yeah. And of the 4 queens, I'd like you to separate them into 2, the reds and the blacks. And of the 2, give me a pair. Would you like to give me the blacks or the reds?
The reds.
The reds, leaving you with the blacks. Okay. So of the blacks that you've kept, would you like the spades or the clubs?
The clubs.
The clubs. Okay. So I said to you, in this glass next to me are my 4 favourite cards, the 4 queens. Of those 4 queens, I turned one round before we started. You'll notice there. I've got the
By
Queen of Clubs.
Jove.
And to show I predicted it in advance, I actually took the Queen of Clubs from a different deck. It's from the red-backed deck. And when I told you I had the 4 queens, I did fib a little bit because the other 3 cards
Hmm.
are actually all jokers.
All jokers. Wonderful.
So it made me think, how far in advance could I predict something? That was a prediction I've done right before the show. So we're going to carry on along the prediction lines. I've got a deck of cards here. And all I need you to do is say stop for me.
Stop.
There, you sure?
Yes.
More or less or dead on there. I don't want you to wake up in the morning going, whoa, what if I'd done one more?
Dead on there.
Dead on there. Okay, so that card, I'm just going to leave out the way until later. But I'll put that glass on top so I can't touch it, okay?
Okay.
Now, I know you're a football fan.
This is true.
I've also got some football teams written on these cards. The best football teams in England.
Have you got Brighton there?
Yep, Brighton is in there.
Uh,
I'll give them all a mix. And we'll try and get them into whatever sort of order they've come out as here. And with these football teams, we're going to have a knockout competition. So, for example, of the 6 teams here in front of you, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I need you to pick 2 for me.
2 and 4.
2 and 4. So in a competition, one of these would lose. I'm going to pick which ones lose for you. You're going to pick which one loses for me. So I'm going to pick this one as the losing team. So, and it is.
Oh, no.
Straight off the bat, Brighton and Hove Albion knocked out. So for you, I'm going to pick 2. And you're going to pick which one loses, this one or this one, my right or my left?
You're right.
My right. That is Arsenal.
Yeah, dreadful team.
Dreadful. Again, we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. If you pick 2 for me.
1 and 2.
1 and 2. And I'm going to pick this one as a loser.
Excellent.
Man United, obviously. Terrible.
Yeah, they can go.
Okay, and I will pick these 2. My right or my left is going to lose, David?
Your left is going to lose.
Tottenham.
Yeah.
So that leaves you with 2 to pick. Which 2 would you like? 1 and 2 or 2 and 1?
2 and 1.
2 and 1.
No, 1 and 2.
1 and 2.
1 and 2.
Okay, and I'll pick this one as the loser.
Okay.
So that's Liverpool.
Excellent.
Excellent.
So my favourite still, my favourite hasn't gone out yet. You know, George.
Your favourite hasn't gone out yet. I told you, I was saying, I'm wondering how far in advance I can predict something. So what you've picked, the 4 of Hearts.
Oh, yes.
And the football team that's won the competition.
Oh, okay. Oh, yep.
West Ham.
Mr. Rice.
When I said I was going to predict something in advance, you'll notice the phone's been here this whole time.
Yep, I did notice that.
I'm going to, as fairly as I can, just bring it up to the screen for you. Because at the beginning of the show, I said I was a world-famous magician. That was a lie. But I do know a world-famous magician, and he sent me this video.
Hello, oh, hang on, man. Oh, what's that doing there? Oh, was that yours?
It was.
And by the way, West Ham are the greatest football team on the planet.
And that's me for the night. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the show. Thank you, everyone.
George. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, George. Fabulous as always. Okay, so from Sussex all the way over to Iceland to our next performer, the wonderful Gunnar. Hi there, Gunnar.
Hello, hello. How are you?
Very well, thanks.
I was wondering, I need someone to help me, and it needs to be somebody with very sturdy opinions, somebody that can take decisions. So, upcoming most illustrious Rod Chow, can you help me, please?
Yes, Gunnar, I can help you.
Thank you. Hello, Rod. How are you?
Hi, good. How are you?
Only 3 weeks until we meet in Canada.
Absolutely. Yes, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Quebec City.
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've got cards. So I'm gonna change the view here. So I'm gonna shuffle the cards a few times. So are you happy that they are?
They look very well shuffled.
Being shuffled?
Yes.
And before I do anything else, I'm going to take one card as a prediction from another deck. So yeah, I think I'll take this one here, and I'll put it here in the corner.
Okay.
One more shuffle or not?
I think that's good. That's
okay.
good. Yeah.
Okay. Very good. So I'm going to slide the cards like this here, and you tell me where to stop my finger.
Okay. A little further. Stop. 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 Stop.
Here?
Back a bit. Yep.
Like
Stop.
here?
Yeah.
Okay. So we got a few cards here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which one of those would you like?
3.
1,
3.
2, 3. This one here.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So this is where we're gonna cut the deck. Okay. Just like always, would you like me to go 1 or 2 or 3 cards back or forward, or
I'm happy with happy
here? Okay, so this is where we cut the deck. Now this is going to be so random, you're not going to believe it. Now I'm going to give you choice. Would you like me to slide the thumb down here, or would you like me to count down to some number that you choose?
Let's count down.
Count down. Okay, which number do you want?
11.
11. 1, 2. Keep me honest.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Yes.
Okay, so you stop me here. The 11th card is a 4. I told you it was going to be so random that you're not going to believe it. So we'll count down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Happy?
Yes.
If it would have been a 5, we would have gone further. So
happy.
This is your destination. This is the card that I picked before.
Oh, perfect.
The 3 of clubs. So
nice.
I knew I had the right person, somebody that would pick and pick and pick, make decisions and make it all correct.
Thank you, Gunnar.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin.
Fabulous. Thank you, Gunnar, as always. Wow. He's a witch, burn him. But right. Okay, it's come to that point in the show that we've all been waiting for. We have a special guest who's with us tonight. So if Stuart can find our special guest. Oh, again, so it looks like oh, there is Megan, but Zoom is playing up again. I will, Stuart, if you leave this, I will dabble and try and get this to work properly. Sorry, Megan, Zoom has been doing this for the past week or two, and it's there we go. No, it's not letting the. It's not letting the. Oh, look at that! Stuart has managed to do it. Fantastic! Wow, what an auspicious start!
Well, if it's any good, the first thing I did as president was break the medal.
It's an absolute pleasure to welcome you here tonight and have this opportunity to chat with you about your life in magic.
Thank you for having me.
I'm just going to start playing a little video, and then we'll have the chat after.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Swann, and I'm an environmental magician. There are lots of different reasons why we need to care about the health of our environment. And a really important one is because it directly impacts on the health and well-being of animals and on human beings. Let me explain. See, there are lots of different threats to the health of our natural environment. The loss of wild spaces and species, pollution and contamination, and the changing climate, to name just a few. And it's easy to see how this impacts on the health and well-being of the animals that live within it. For example, through habitat loss. And of course, we've all seen the pictures of injured animals caught in our litter. We also need to think about how this can impact on our pets, as they too can get hurt by the litter, and they need wild spaces to go for nice walks. And finally, it's really important to think about how it affects our health and well-being. See, air pollution can be bad for our lungs. The changing climate is likely to bring an increasing number of infectious diseases we see. And importantly, getting out into nature is so good for our mental and physical well-being that losing wild spaces near us is really bad for our health. And that's why we need to remember that environmental health isn't something separate that we can worry about later. We need to remember that environmental, human and animal health are not three separate disciplines. If you care about one, you need to think about them all. And that's why we need a One Health mindset, one which recognises that all three are inextricably linked.
Thank you, Megan. You can actually say what you've
my
just
least
mentioned.
favourite video. Thank you.
You can just actually say what you. I just wanted to highlight the fact that that you were the green credentials that you know is the cornerstone of what you're doing at the moment. Right. So let's just get on with stuff. You began magic when you were about 5 years old, I believe.
Yes, I started, as many people do, with a children's magic sets, and absolutely loved doing magic. Collected all the magic sets that I could. I think my mum apparently used to read the instructions while I was at school and then teach me when I came home. So yeah, had a lot of support, but started as everyone else did until I was about 8, when I had a magician for my birthday party. And his name was Roy Marsh. There we go. He performed for my birthday. It was quite a memorable day. It was the day before my birthday, but it was the day my brother was born. So quite life-changing in many ways. I absolutely loved Roy's performance. He got me up, he got me involved, made me feel special, I guess. And since then I collected even more magic sets, got massively into it, performed for all of my friends and family, drove everyone mad with it. So as soon as my mum heard about the Young Magicians Club when I was 10, I was sent straight off to join and never looked back. Learning from professional magicians absolutely changed my life. I don't think I'd still be doing magic now if it wasn't for the YMC. So it was a massive thing in my life to join that society.
So something else at the age of 5, you started doing ballet, and that's something that has sort of stuck with you for the rest of your life. Not as a mainstay of your performance, which is magic, and but something that you've always had an interest in.
Yeah, I love ballet. I love watching a good ballet, and I do enjoy performing it. It does hurt. It's not my favorite thing in the world to do, getting up on point. It's not something I do really for fun, but I do still do it as part of my magic act. I enjoy using the stage and moving around a bit. So I kind of, my ballet act now is, I kind of see that as my hobby piece. You don't do a 10-minute stage act and expect to earn a lot of money really, unless you have to really go for it, I guess. But no, with that act, it's something I do for fun in a few shows. Did a tour with the Marvels of Mystery, but yeah, so the whole act is ballet themed. I sort of set it backstage at the ballet, and I don't just dance for the fun of it. It's all themed around the character.
Sorry, Megan. Did you go to theatre school, or did you just do ballet and these sort of things as just part of what you enjoyed doing?
Yeah, I just did ballet as a class, as many young girls do. I had a friend who went to ballet classes as well, and we went along together every Thursday night for many years. I ended up having to give it up when I went to university, and then I did drama and things like that at school, but I didn't do theatre school or anything like that. Very different studies.
Yeah, you mentioned university. My notes here say that you studied wildlife conservation at university. Did that lay the foundation for the style of magic you developed?
Absolutely. So I've always loved nature, always had an interest in looking after our natural world. Once upon a time, I actually wanted to be a vet, but I changed my plans and did conservation instead. And but it was 3 years. It was really depressing. It was 3 years of learning about the world's problems and all the problems we cause trying to solve those problems, and there wasn't a lot of hope. But one thing it really did show me was how important education is, environmental education. And I also got to study a sort of an animal performance, and got to see how performance techniques could help to get conservation messages across, or any messages across actually, help people to remember them, help to keep them engaged. It makes it more fun. So I started doing the environmental style magic. It was just one trick to begin with, but soon realized no one really wants to hear about deforestation on their birthday. So I came up with a dedicated show that I could market initially to schools, but it's now broadened out a lot more, and I perform it in many different places.
And so you coined the phrase green magic.
Yeah, I call it all sorts of things. Green magic, eco magic, environmental magic. It gets various different names, depending on who I'm performing for, really.
If you hadn't become a magician, what path do you think you would have gone down?
I probably would have been a vet. I probably would have put more effort into getting all the work experience and going down that route. And knowing me, I would have been stubborn and stuck with that plan that I had from the age of 5. I'm not sure that would have been the right choice for me. I've done some work in the veterinary sector, and I'm not sure that being a vet would have suited me really. I don't know. I don't know where life would have taken me. It's hard to tell. I guess. I mean, I have a part-time job as well. I work in policy work and using in the veterinary sector, but working on green policies for them. That's where the One Health thing actually came from. I kind of did that for work. I work on One Health, which is environment, human and animal health all as one. So I'd probably gone down more that route, but I probably wouldn't be part-time. I'd probably have worked my way up and earn a lot more money by now, but I wouldn't be having so much fun.
Paul Cooper's just said, where did you grow up and what university did you go to?
So I grew up in Eltham, which is in southeast London, Greenwich. People might know Greenwich Mean Time or the O2 Arena, that sort of area. My university was the University of Kent in Canterbury. They have a department called the Durrell Institute of Conservation and Ecology. It's a good social science faculty.
That's a good university. My son went there.
Canterbury's a good student town. It was nice because it's like an hour from home, so it's too far to stay at home, but not so far that I couldn't come back when I needed to.
When did you decide earlier on that your future was magic? You know, just something that just.
I don't know that I've even decided that yet. Yeah, nice magic bar in Canterbury there is. That opened up like very late into my time there. That was very frustrating. I don't know. I tend to just sort of find myself in situations and just keep going with doing something I love, and then end up doing magic. I guess when I left uni, I thought, oh, that's depressing. I'm not going to do that. I'll go and do some magic. But I then ended up getting a normal job. I just keep doing what I enjoy and keep. I like doing a bit of everything. I don't know that I want to do full-time magic. I like my conservation stuff too much, but yeah, that's a long way of saying I haven't decided that yet.
If you were to be put on the spot and said, what have been the greatest influences on your life so far? So what would you say?
My mum and dad. I
Yeah.
think they brought me up not realizing that girls didn't really do magic. They brought me up loving nature and doing so many different things. And my dad, listen, used to drive me to gigs and come to the conventions with me and fly out to the States if I needed to. So I did, yeah, they were a big influence, and mum obviously helped me to make tricks and sew costumes and all sorts of things. So they've been a huge influence on my life.
Do you still perform ballet?
Only with the magic act. It's too painful to do. To be honest, I'm not as good. My ballet is getting worse, and I think one day I'll have to think about giving up the point work. But for now, I've sort of choreographed the routine, so I don't have to go up and point too much, and it works for me. But I do enjoy dancing. I still dance around for fun and for exercise, but I've never been a professional ballerina anyway. So
I have heard it's a painful career.
Yeah, I hats off to them. I couldn't do it.
Right, Stuart's got a question now. I'll ask in a minute because it ties into where we're going. So, getting back to your career, when did you start? When did you become a member of the Magic Circle? How long ago was that?
I became a member of the Magic Circle when I was 18, a few years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was 11 years ago now. But I've grown up through the Magic Circle. I started at the Young Magicians Club when I was 10 and just never left. I went every single month, pretty much every workshop. I think I missed 3 in the entire 8 years that I was a member. Joined the Magic Circle as soon as I could. And then I had to go to university for a few years, but I came back and then started running for officer roles pretty much straight away.
And you joined the Young Magicians Club, which has become famous on Britain's Got Talent with Ryland, bringing them all in behind him on stage, which was fabulous.
Yeah,
but
it was really lovely to see everyone doing that.
When you joined, how many girls were there in the Young Magicians Club, and was it a male-dominated environment?
Absolutely. So I turned up at the age of 10, not realizing that it was a male-dominated thing, expecting it to be like school, half boys, half girls, and it really wasn't. It was initially me. And in my head, 80 boys who were all about 6 foot taller than me. I mean, they probably weren't, but they seemed it. It was quite scary. I wasn't the most confident 10-year-old. Another girl did turn up, and I'm really glad she did, because I probably wouldn't have come back. I probably wouldn't have gone back again if it hadn't been for her. And I know my mum tells stories of when her and my dad were scared to leave me there because they hadn't realised either. So it was a bit of a wake up call. It was a bit of a shock, but I'm really glad I stuck with it. But it was, I think once there were 5 girls there, that was probably the record. In about, you could get up to 70 or 80 kids. So it was, pretty low, but it is improving.
Yeah. Was it difficult to fit in, or did you just take it in your stride?
At the age of 10 or growing, it's really hard to be the odd one out. As a kid, you want to blend in. You don't want to stick out like a sore thumb. And I tried initially, I learned the card tricks. I'd wear the jacket, even if it was pink. I tried to do the things that everyone else was doing, but you learn pretty quickly that actually the good thing about magic is that it's good to stand out. You are more successful if you stand out, and I learned to harness that and embrace it. But it was a hard lesson to learn, and I saw so many girls never come back, because you feel so much like the odd one out, and as you get older and more confident, you can embrace your differences and be okay with that. But as a 10-year-old girl, it's not an easy thing to learn.
I mean, the fantastic thing that happened was that you became the first woman president of the Magic Circle. So give us a little sort of potted pen history of how you got from Young Magicians Club to president.
So I did the YMC for 8 years, and obviously through that I got to know quite a few members. I performed a lot during the YMC. I entered all the competitions, had a lot of fun, and got lots of amazing opportunities because of that. I met lots of members and made lots of friends. I then went to university for 3 years, and I did come to the Magic Circle when I could during summer, but it was nowhere near as often as I go now. But while I was at university, I ran the Magic Society. I was president there, and it was really successful. I absolutely loved it. And I came home thinking, what am I going to do now? I miss my society already. That was more important than the degree was at the time in my head. So, and the role of secretary was coming up for election at the Magic Circle. So I ran for it because I could do it. It was all in my. It was admin. I sort of underestimated how big a job it was, if I'm honest. But I thought, oh, I can do that. And no one else. I was told no one else ever runs for it. So I thought, well, I don't mind doing it. I might as well run. And I got it. I was, and at that point, I was the first woman and the youngest person to get an officer role. Everyone telling me how, it's normally a retired man that does it and things like that, but I did it, and I must have done a good enough job because I stuck with it for 5 years, and yeah, I quite enjoyed it. But it is a lot of work. The secretary role is a big job, probably in any organization. The Magic Circle is a lot of work and a lot of deadlines. So eventually I stood down from that and ran for the role of vice president. That was a couple of years ago. Really proud to win that. And so in September, when the role of president became vacant, I decided to run for it, and I got the job. So really proud that the members have put their faith in me and voted me in.
What did that feel like when you were told, Megan, you are president?
It was so stressful in the lead up to it. It was because I was in this all or nothing situation. I had spent at this point 7 years dedicating so many hours to the Magic Circle, and it was literally all or nothing. I was either president or nothing. I was out. So it was a mixture of relief, part stress, like what have I done, but most of all just real excitement and honor that people have faith in me, and I'm really proud. And it wasn't about, at that moment, it's not about being the first woman or the youngest. I'm president of the Magic Circle, and as a magician, it's such a wonderful feeling. I can imagine many people would be thrilled to be in that position.
We got a question from Stuart who says, other than becoming president, what has been your proudest magical achievement?
Ooh. I think a recent show that I did, I performed at the Royal Festival Hall, slightly different. That would be amazing. Royal Festival Hall for the Women of the World Festival. That was really good fun, getting to sort of open the show. There's a little chat before, but I was the first performance. That was a real highlight. I've done, and I performed for Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Cornwall as well recently, so that was quite fun. They were sort of linked. There was a reception for that, so I think that's been a career highlight.
And Andy Russell says, which magicians really inspired you?
Oh, I've always hated this question because I think all magicians inspired me in some way. I've never had a favourite. I've always liked a little bit of everyone. I think I was really lucky when I was in the YMC to know Ali Bongo, and looking back, I can see what a massive influence he made and how good he was at sort of steering you in the right direction in a nice way, and sort of, oh, I like what you did there, but have you ever thought about doing it this way? So Ali was a real influence, and of course Roy, who we mentioned earlier, that first show made all the difference and got me into magic, really.
Oh, controversial, Paul. What was Megan's first decision action on becoming president?
You had to appoint a chair of council. That's technically the first thing you do. What was my first? That's a good question. Yeah, I proposed Lee had to wear his chair of council. Then the first decisions really are things like just appointing people to roles and things like that. I think one of the first things I did was propose that we made Wayne Dobson honorary vice president.
Fabulous, yeah.
Respected magician. trying to think. And I also created a couple of new committees. We have a equality, diversity and inclusion panel, and also a governance working group who are looking into just the way we run the Magic Circle and if there's any way we can improve it in the future. So they might not sound exciting to everyone, but to me they're important about just safeguarding the future of the society.
Well, what about women in magic? I mean, it's still a minority of women in magic, and becoming president of the Magic Circle obviously gives a real boost to women becoming magicians, but it's still a difficult path to follow.
It is hard. I think it's hard to explain unless you've been like the odd one out, or if you're in a minority group of any form. I think most people understand how it feels to have that thing that makes you different. And if you haven't been in that situation, then it's that you are amazingly lucky. And you know, in other places I'm not the odd one out, and it's so much easier to feel that you fit in and to feel comfortable. And the real problem is how many amazing talented people are we losing just because they can't deal with the fact that they feel that they don't fit in, or you know, don't feel welcome in our community. So that's something I am really passionate about, making sure everyone feels as welcome as possible. And you know, it's not just me that needs to do it. I think everyone, there's lots of people working on that and who are keen on making the magic world in general more welcoming. In terms of getting more girls into magic, it is slowly improving. I think there's a lot more, just in society in general, there's a lot of pushes to get women and girls into STEM subjects or any science, technology, engineering, and normally it's maths, but we can call it magic, can't we, for this STEM? Yeah. Getting them into that. So I think it's, you know, the world is changing, is opening up, and I think everyone's realizing they can do more. I'm trying to do my bit by performing to Girl Guides and people like that, but and the whole point of, you know, there being any press around me being first female president is to inspire younger girls and encourage them, so that it'd be nice that I don't want female magician to be a thing, you know. I just want us all to be equal. Yeah, and it shouldn't be a story that I'm the first female president, but it was, and I think I try and use it to inspire instead of anything else.
Fantastic. There's a well-known expression: "The show must go on." But you know, have you had times in your life when you thought, "Oh, really, I don't want to be performing now"? And how did you get over that?
We in 2019, my dad died very suddenly and unexpectedly, and I had some shows lined up in the weeks after that. Fortunately, not the next day or anything, but it was really, really hard to even find the energy to get out of bed and perform. But it showed me certainly as soon as I started performing, you just get into gear and start performing, and it didn't matter that I felt really sad and really rubbish. You just go into performance mode and it works. And I think it probably helped me as well. It gave me something nice to do for those few weeks. So it's probably the clearest example of when I've really not wanted to perform, but pulled it out of the bag, because you can't disappoint the kids.
But the Magic Circle,
to be clear.
the Magic Circle will help people who have, you know, who are feeling low and depressed and want some help. They can turn to
the Magic. So I found the Magic Circle to be absolutely incredible support at that time. The love and support I had from the members, it was amazing. I got support from our benevolent fund. So anyone who's been a member for at least 2 years is able to claim support from the benevolent fund. So I had some financial help towards the funeral, because obviously massive unexpected cost. And yeah, support from all my colleagues. We do have people who are really good to talk to if you're ever in need. So there's been, I know we've done a lot of work in the last few years to try and encourage people to talk more, because I know mental health is a big concern in the magic world. We'd like to be as supportive as we can. We don't always get things right, but I know the last few years have been really stressful for everyone, and I'd like to see us do more in that area. But I'm no expert on this, so I'm not going to say too much. It's not my area of expertise, I'm afraid.
How can we
the magic world can be very supportive when it wants to be.
Yeah. How can we make magic better for the future? Are there things that need to change?
Are there things that need to change? Obviously, I have talked about equality and diversity and being more supportive towards women. It's something I'm particularly passionate about. It's, you know, but supportive towards everyone is important, and I'm sure, you know, all of us, even I know there are things I do that I can improve on. I think we all need to be aware of moving with the times and not just, there are some people who maybe do things in a way that used to be acceptable but socially isn't anymore. And I think even if you don't agree with that, fact is, if the world's moving in a certain way, you're not going to keep getting bookings if you don't move with it. I think, but I think, you know, magic is an art form that it's been around for years, and it will keep, you know, we're not going to lose it or anything. It'll keep adapting. It's one thing we're good at. Is good at adapting. We've seen during the pandemic, we all got onto Zoom and shows like this appeared. So we can do it. But there are things to change, and I think I don't want to go into too many details. But yeah, do move with the times. Don't get stuck with the dinosaurs.
Just going back to our previous little mini discussion, Roy has just asked a question. If somebody has, you know, learning difficulties and wants to get into the magic circle, is there any sort of mentoring or something that can help with somebody?
So this is something I would like our quality group to look into at some point. There's a lot more support I think we could give. We have a fantastic network now, the apprentice team, and I can see some of you on here. David's on here as well. I saw some fantastic people there helping people, sort of newer members or apprentices who are starting out to develop their skills and become better magicians, that they can pass the exams. I think that's really helpful. I'm sure there's a lot more we can do, and not something I haven't got a plan. I'll admit I haven't got a plan in action just yet, but we do have some fantastic people in the society who are keen to help, and if there's anything we can do, then I'm keen that we embrace that and make our society as welcoming as we can.
So what are Maiden Swann's plans for the future? What
are my plans for the future? Yeah. More magic. I really am focusing on my environmental magic a lot more. I started to get into some corporate magic, which is nice. I like the fact that I can influence people who could actually make some changes now. That's quite exciting for me. I still enjoy performing in schools as well, though. It's always great to have the kids, although some of their answers are brilliant, and sometimes their ways to save energy and things like that can surprise you. A recent one was, you can save energy, as in electricity, save energy by sitting down when you watch the TV. That's a good example. So yeah, more schools, more the corporate world, and just doing as much of my eco magic as I can. I like to spread the world. It's something I'm really passionate about, and I like that I can do my bit to help protect the planet by educating a few more people.
So we've got a picture up there of you doing some speaking.
Yeah.
Something you're getting involved in.
Yes, I occasionally get booked for sort of as a after dinner speaker, or obviously I've mentioned the corporate world, but also a lot of schools that have sort of award ceremonies and things like that. They ask me to come and speak often on, if it's a girls' school, it's normally about being a woman in a male-dominated environment, but if it's a mixed school, it's normally about some power being different, really. And actually both of them I would give a very similar message, in that it doesn't matter what makes you different, embrace it, and that's what makes you special. And the fact that all of the things that made me different when I was younger, I was a bit geeky, I stood out and had this interest in magic, and then in the magic world I was a girl, so all these things that have made me different are actually now kind of what's made me successful. So I focus on that to inspire children, especially, to just be who they are.
Fabulous. So David Minton's just put a question up. He said, how's the tour going?
Oh, that'd be the Marbles and Mystery. It went really well. We've done most of them. We've got one more show left, which was sort of left over from last year, so that's in Lincoln in September. Yeah, we haven't done too many of them because we all suddenly got very busy. But it was good fun to do the stage show for a few times and work in some really nice theatres. But maybe we'll pick it up again in the future.
There's just one quick question I'll just get in there. So from Peter Burnett, is it ideal to have a theme, i.e. environmental magic? Is it?
I love a theme. I've always loved putting a theme with my magic. The ballet theme, and even before that, I did a makeup themed act when I was younger, and I had a cabaret act that was all themed around different hobbies, which is how I started off with the eco magic, really. But you don't have to. It's my style. I absolutely love a theme. I think it makes it more of an act. It pulls everything together. It gives you something interesting. It makes it memorable. People can go, oh yeah, the one that did the environmental theme, even if they don't remember your name. But yeah, so if you've got a theme that springs to mind, something you're passionate about, absolutely go for it. I can't recommend doing that highly enough. But I don't expect the entire world to start theming their magic either.
if somebody came up, if somebody came up to you now and said, "I want to be a magician," what advice would you give them?
Ooh, find some other magicians, start learning. I guess it would depend on their age. If they're young enough, I'd tell them to join the Young Magicians Club or join a local magic society. I think that's a great place to start, get to know people and see some more magic, watch as much magic as you can, and just keep practicing and don't be afraid to be different, because everyone's going to have their own style. Absolutely.
And finally, have you got any final thoughts that you would like to leave us with?
No. I think I've said a lot.
You have covered an awful lot, Megan. Thank you ever so much for being with us tonight. It's been an absolute treat. Everybody out there in the gallery have been watching their faces, and everybody's been riveted, and nobody's left the room, which is even better. Good. Generally, when I'm out, half the audience goes.
Well, thank you very much for having me. Thank you, Kevin, and
it's
thank
a
you
pleasure
for staying with it and listening as well.
Okay, we'll see you if you get a chance to chat to the magicians after the show's finished. If you're, but I know you've got stuff on tomorrow and you need to get rehearsing.
Yeah, I'm busy prepping for a show tomorrow, so I'll turn off my camera. But
yeah,
I'll try and hang around again.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And thank you again. Thank you ever so much for being with us.
Thank you.
Megan Swann. Absolutely fabulous. Right, Alan Fisher, follow that.
Yeah, thank you so much for booking the opening act for me. Let's just bring in this amazing young woman who speaks so eloquently and is so passionate about magic, and then we'll turn it over to the fat geek from Tennessee. All right, thank you. Earlier in our program, Gunnar did just a beautiful card routine. That's a classic of magic. The concept of pick a card, it's returned to the deck, and the magician magically finds it. George did a couple of unique interpretations of that. Let me switch to my other camera here as hang on, is it? I'm not even sure if this is a full deck. I don't want to hear any jokes from anybody. I don't want to hear any jokes, but I get the feeling, this might not be it might not be an actual full deck. But that's okay. We'll just use whatever cards we have here. I'm not gonna argue. Kevin, throw somebody up as a volunteer for me. And we'll do the classic pick a card, and I'll actually I'll find the card 3 different ways. One is foolproof, guaranteed, so every magician is going to take notes on it. The second one is a bit more magical, but I think I can pull it off. The last one is really tough, and I'll need some help with that. But Tom Gentile, our current most illustrious for the next. Let me check my watch. You can pick a card that you can see, or I'll just kind of run my finger down. Yeah, go ahead and name it out. Give me one
in the middle there. 5 of spades.
Oh, the 5 of spades. Sure, there it is. That's perfect. That I've given you is the absolute ultimate in free choice of cards, because you got to see all of them. We picked the 5, and the way it always works is the magician, or you would put the card back in if you were here, but it goes in the middle of the deck, and then the magician magically finds it. So I said we're going to do this 3 ways. The first is foolproof. So magicians in the audience, take note. This is guaranteed foolproof. You will find their card every time. There it is. Found it. Right there, 5 of spades. Found it. Perfect. I didn't say it was a great trick, but I guarantee it's going to work every time. You find their card. All right. The second way is a little trickier, because the second way you actually have to do a little bit of magic. So the second way, you snap and then you make the card smaller so that the 5 of spades is little teeny tiny inside the big deck. The only problem is it's hard to see.
It is.
And you lose it in the deck as you're working with it. So that doesn't always give you the best method. The last one is the best, but as I said, I can't do it on my own. I need the power of the Joker, because the Joker has all the magic in it. That's why they're wild when you're playing cards. If you take the Joker and pass it over all of the cards, then it reverses the polarity of the deck. It reverses polarity, and it makes the deck smaller except for the card they've selected. And that makes it so much easier to find their card in a little teeny tiny deck. Guaranteed you're going to find that sucker every time. Because that's my little hint for how to use a Joker to find their card. Tom, thank you so much for helping me out.
Never
Evan,
saw
back
that
to
one.
you.
Thank you.
Brilliant, Alan. As always, the fantastic Alan Fisher.
Yeah, always got something.
Yeah, always great. Thank you, Alan. Right, looking down my running order. So we've got another video coming up from, I think he's still in the gallery out there, Andy Russell, a fellow Magic Circle member, and was a fellow apprentice with me earlier on. Okay, so Andy, we are playing your video now.
How you doing, folks? Andy here. Hope you're all keeping well. When I used to go to high school, my mathematical teacher used to confuse me with his problems. That's why when I come on and you guys are doing math tricks, I'm like, oh no, here we go. Please don't pick me, because I've had that for many years in my childhood. Anyway, so I used to like to confuse him with rope tricks. So I said to him one day, we got a short, medium and a long piece of rope. And I said, these ropes are made for specific sizes of my body. So the long piece is going actually from my hip all the way down to my foot. The medium size is actually going from my knee down to my foot. And the small one is the size of my foot. Behave yourself, people. So I said, we've got a small, medium and a long piece. I said, pay attention, because I placed the small one to the top, the medium one to the top, and the long one to the top. From the thumb upwards, they all look the same size, right? He said, Andy, you're stupid. I said, no, look, but as if by magic, they really do all look the same sizes. That's 1, 2, and 3. I said, you can check these out as well. But the thing that confuses me is how you can just shake and they'll start becoming long. But the weird thing is if you pull enough, you can pull the ends off the rope, leaving, of course, just a loop. And this is sometimes how a rope comes before you get the ends on. Now, if you carry some finger scissors, you can snip, and that gives you a rope with 2 ends. But we can go back in time where we've got the hooper rope. Now, if you happen to carry some ends, you can attach that on as such and just shake, and that gives you a rope with 2 ends, right? And I said, what's really cool though, is if we snip here, that gives us 2 similar ropes with both ends, and also a third one that matches that. So now we've got 1, 2, and 3 bits of rope all the same length. He looks confused, and you folks do as well. Well, so am I. But look, if we go right back to the very beginning, you place a small one to the top, the medium one to the top, and the long one to the top. Now they all look similar lengths, as if by magic. We got a small piece of rope, a medium piece of rope, and a long piece of rope. Now a friend of mine saw this in class, and he said, you know what, Andy, that's really cool, can you teach me something? I said, sure, no problem, as long as you keep it a secret. I said, for this you need a long piece of rope. So we managed to end up getting like a skipping rope from the gym. I said, you hold one piece like this on the top, another piece with your finger and thumb on the top. You bring it together and you just sneeze, and that forms a rope. I mean, that forms a knot every single time. If it actually produced a rope, that would be more magic in itself, right? Now, I'm going to teach you folks how this is done. first of all, it needs a bit of secret preparation. So just look into those lovely chocolate brownie eyes, right? Okay, cool. So you need a thumb and finger on top, thumb and finger on top. You bring it together and sneeze, and it brings a knot in the rope again. Now, I'm actually going to teach you how this is done, folks, because I know a few of you guys and girls come here regularly, and all my other friends and folks from all around the world of different genres and stuff. So you form a knot in the rope. You then pull the ends through as such, forming a knot. You pay attention, you've got to make that knot very small to a point where it's invisible. It's there, it's just invisible, right? And then you get the top end and the bottom end, and you bring it together and just sneeze, and it brings a knot in that rope every single time. Now, a little bit of advice, if you do this kind of stuff, is make sure you do put your ropes away very neatly into your drawer, because unfortunately they do become like Christmas tree lights. You know, we take them on and all bundled up like this, because what can happen is, unfortunately, at some points they end up forming knots all by themselves and can cause a right mess. Now, another friend of mine said he loved card magic, and I know quite a few of you on here enjoy card tricks. Fortunately, I don't have any cards, so I'm going to have to order some very quick. Bear with me. So here I have a catalogue, and this is where magicians order their cards from. So we've got like black ones, green ones, blue ones, red ones. But say I wanted, I don't know, a red deck. We just, boom, shake, and we can get one as quick as a wink, which is quite cool. Now I'm just going to bring you down to the table. Now, magicians love doing this trick called cards across. And this is kind of what I want to show you. It's where cards tend to travel invisibly from one place to another. Okay, so I said to him, first of all, you need 10 cards. So he said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I said, fantastic. So how many have you got? He said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I said, 9? You don't need 9, you need 10. Get another card. So he said, right. I said, you got 10 cards? He said, yeah. I said, cool. So take 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Flip them over, and you're just going to place them just to the side, which he did. I said, get another 5. So he said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Flip them over, and you're going to place those 5 to one side, which he did. He said, I've still got cards left. I said, what? How can you still have cards left? He goes, well, I've still got 5 in my hand. I said, what? You told me you had 10. He said, I did. I said, well, you don't want that. I'll throw them back. So throw them back on the pack. So I said, now, what it is, right, you're going to give a little wave like this, and 2 cards are going to go from this pile over to this one. So we did that. And I said, there should only be 3 cards in this pile. He said, 1, 2, 3. It's like, I can't believe it. I said, well, it should be 7 there then. And he went, actually, there's a 1, 2, 3. I said, what? So you're telling me there's 6 cards in total? He went, yeah. I went, no, that's wrong. You should have 10. I said, yeah, I'll show you. So I scooped up the 6 cards. So that was 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I said, it used 10 cards. I said, you know, I keep telling you, you need to listen more. I said, you take 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You flip those 5 over, and then you put them just down on the side. You then take another 5. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you put them to one side. You then give a little wave as such over the pack, and that should leave you with 1, 2, 3 cards in this pile, and in this pile should leave you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But you know, he never did get to learn that trick, and he actually never learned any magic at all, so it's a complete waste of time. But I hope all you folks enjoyed that one. Take care for now, and see you soon.
Wow, fantastic. Thank you, Andy. And we need to have you back live on the show in the near future. So make a promise. Right, from Andy Russell up north of us, north of London somewhere, to the other side of the Atlantic and to the other side of the USA, to California, and my good friend Mitch. Magic Mitch, come in, mate.
Yes, hello, good to be back. Hope you're all doing well. Fabulous act so far. Listen to Megan, Alan, that was a great act that you had before. Everyone phenomenal. I loved it. A couple things we just got to get out of the way right away. You may have noticed I am in somewhere else. It's because I moved for the last 3 weeks. I've been moving in here. So I'm in a new place. Second thing you may have noticed is that I'm using a table. You may have noticed when I was doing the open mic before, it was just straight across. This isn't a new table. This is the same table I used. And then this is my custom made mat. It's upside down, but I'm getting this kind of decaled. So I wanted to show everybody that. Last thing is that I do have COVID. So I was diagnosed. It sucks. So I'm kind of isolated right now. And the only way I can interact is through you guys, through Zoom. So I wanted to show someone special. I've always wanted to show a trick to. And I'm going to call out Anthony Darkstone. Can we get him spotlighted, please?
Okay, so hopefully it'll work. Otherwise, we'll have to mess around again with Zoom, which, as I said, Zoom is playing up.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Tom. Appreciate that.
Stu, are you...
Howdy, Mitch. I think you called me up, right?
I called you out. Yes, I did.
Sir.
There you
are.
There you go.
All right.
Yeah.
I just want to bask in this moment right now because I have the legendary, renowned Anthony Darkstone right next to me, and I'm so honored to do a trick for you. This is the very first time I think I've ever performed for you, and I perform for a lot of people in open mic. So thank you for being here and to see this effect. So what I'm going to show you, Anthony, is something that I call the CCCC effect. It's not an email or anything like that. It just simply means a card, a coin, a crazy cool COVID effect. So CCCCC. And I don't have a Zoom per se, but I want you to see that you can see the table. Okay, is that okay?
Yes,
All
it
right,
is.
so deck of cards. I'll show that to you in a second. I have over here a coin. This is a Kennedy half that begins with a K, not a C. And then I have a prediction inside of here. Okay, it's a little mystery prediction.
Okay.
So I just wanted you to know what I have here. So the prediction will be here. I'll get back to the coin in a second, and then we're going to use the cards for now. And the cards are just normal cards. You can see they are just standard cards, 52 cards. We're going to play something. This is why I called upon you. Someone told me that, yes, there are 52 cards, but the cards are kind of like, well, they're kind of like people in your lives. You know, you meet men and women, those are court cards. You meet kids, which are I call them the jacks, and or the younger population of court cards. And then everyone kind of else is kind of just values of your life. You know, maybe some people you may know, some people you may not know. There's high, low cards. There's different cards, but we're going to use today the representation of the cards like people. Okay, sound good?
Okay,
so
sound good.
You're not here to help me out. You're here to help me out, but I know that you're not actually here to help me shuffle. So what I'm going to do is let's take roughly about half. You know, I'm going to leave this right about here. And you just tell me when we're good enough to stop shuffling, okay? So I will just shuffle like this, like we're just mixing around. Whenever you want to, you just tell me to stop it.
Stop.
All right, so he's happy with the mix of this pile. What about this pile? We got to mix this one up here. So same thing. You just tell me when you're satisfied.
Okay. One more. That's it.
One more. Okay. One more.
Okay.
All right. Good. All right. Good. So we are good with the mix. What about when we cut decks? Now we have twice that many piles. We have now 2 and 2, which is 4. You know, let's try that one more time, Anthony. When you're satisfied.
One more.
All right.
That's
one
fine.
more. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, that's good. This pile, tell me when you are good and satisfied with the mix of this pile.
One more.
Oh, I got a little thin there. And good. Okay, perfect. And if you were here, you would shuffle these as much as you want. Now this side.
Okay, we can stop.
That good?
Yep, that's good.
Oh, I think someone is on. Someone's mic is on.
Yeah, I'm afraid so. Yeah.
That's okay. More time. Hopefully they'll know. Right there. Okay. So this is just a mix of different packets. But we don't always live in a perfectly ordered world, do we, Anthony? We are going to flip over a whole packet. Can you tell me of this pile? Do you want to flip over this one, or do you want me to flip over this one? Your choice.
The one closest to you.
This one right here. Okay.
Yeah. Yes,
and this pile, which one do you want me to flip over? This one here or this one here?
The one closest to you.
This one right here?
Yes.
Okay. Now we're going to mix these together, but you may think, why are you mixing them on the same packet? So what I'm going to do is swap them. That's pretty cool. And we are going to now shuffle these. Let's say shuffle these together. So we shuffled these. Let's actually shuffle these, or we can shuffle it like these. I believe you said like this, actually. So we will go ahead and shuffle about face up, face down, like so. Shuffling face up, face down. Same thing here. Shuffle face up into face down. So you can see, very bad from the camera view, cards mixed up. And you can see from the camera some cards. Oops, that was very bad shuffle. That was a very bad shuffle. Let's get that going a little more. There we go. Now we have a little bit better of a shuffle. And finally, if you were here, you would be able to do this, the final shuffle together. So I will finally just shuffle these cards together like so. So what did that create, Anthony? A chaotic mess. Yes, it did. It created an absolute catastrophe. I mean, we have cards here face up, some cards face down. They're just a heap of cards. There's just a big mess. But no matter what side you decide to choose, either this side or this side, you'll always remember that the deck was messed up, right?
Yes.
You'll see that they are messed.
Yes.
So I am going to say, Anthony, for the first time that I pull out this prediction, hopefully I can blow your mind because you are so good. You're so prolific. I wanted to do something to impress you. I told you that I had a prediction here the whole time, huh? And the deck was all messy, so to speak. So if I open this up, you'll see there's a piece of paper with some writing in here, and there's nothing else. Let me show this. Nothing else inside the envelope. Right?
Right.
So we were just reading off what we just put here. So can you read the top line of that for me?
21 of the cards are face up.
21 of the cards will be face up. So right here, please don't take your eyes off the screen. We're just going to count the face up cards. You count with me, okay?
1, 2, 3, 4.
One, only face up. We're only counting face up. Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
6, 7,
8, 9, 10. Wait, a little thrown off.
Oh, okay.
11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21.
Yep.
And the cards face up. Now, out of these cards right here, what does that say?
9 of the 21 cards will be red.
Hopefully. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of the cards will be red. And these are irrelevant right here. You know what? I'm willing to guess something that of all these cards that we just mixed up right here, there's one that's going to stand out. One that will stand out amongst you. Let me pull these up so you guys can see this. They're all mixed, so to speak, right? And of all these cards that we have here in the deck, you, my friend, have mixed up the entire deck, but they're starting to look like they're more back in order. I wouldn't call you out as I wouldn't call you as a card. You're more like a coin because you're solid, you're worth something, and more importantly, you bring value to other people's lives. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the coin and just from this mix up right here that we have, just say stop as I go through.
Stop.
Right there. I'm going to lower it down on a card. Okay, you said stop right there. I'm going to just separate them a little bit.
Yep.
Okay, and we said stop, Mr. Darkstone, on the 8 of spades there with the coin.
Yes.
Okay, we would even go so far as to have you sign this. So I'm just going to, in perfect penmanship, just sign your last name, Darkstone.
Oh,
Dark
wow.
Stone.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Is that good? I would
Yeah.
pass a forgery class if I was signing your name. Okay. So you said stop onto this card right here. You are not the card. You are the coin. I mixed all these cards up together, but I never told you what I would do with you, the coin. I would take you, put you in my hand, okay? And then I would simply take the card and simply blow and believe.
Wow.
Now, you have said stop on some cards. We predicted the cards earlier, but how do we find something that was lost amongst the people of the cards? We find you. And if you were here, you could do this yourself. I'm going to show you something truly incredible. All around, nothing here as I show you. And I'm going to simply just take the corners and rip the card open. I set the piece down and I'm going to have you look inside. If I can get there, inside. Do you?
Yeah, it looks like a coin.
No, let me try again this way. There we go. Got it separated. And for the first time, I have finally done a trick for a Mr. Anthony Darkstone. There is your coin, sir. Thank you so much for helping me.
Thank you. I absolutely loved it. That is amazing.
Oh, you're incredible. Thank you so much. That's my effect. Give it up for Mr. Anthony Darkstone. And Kevin, back to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mitch. Great to see you. Great to see you back on the show, Mitch. I hope we will see more of you in the coming weeks and months. Right. Okay. Staying in the USA and from the Pacific side right over to the Atlantic side to New York City and to my favorite New York mentalist, Tommy Burnett. Come in, Tommy.
Hey, welcome. Yeah, actually, we're near the end, so never mind. Hello, everyone. I hope you're having a great evening. I know I am. This has been amazing with making Swann and all the wonderful people. And having Thomas and Gentile and Raul in the audience and Anthony Darkstone. It's an amazing event. Maybe you guys can hop over to my event on Tuesday evening at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That would be great. Anyway, I only say that because I know most people here are from the UK and it is a little bit late, but those of you who are not in the UK, we'd love to have you over here. Anywho, I'm going to do something that Michael Kelly often does, where I'm going to do part of something today and do some of it next Tuesday and some of it the following Wednesday. So, we'll see how I do. Let me change my camera view, and we will see that I have a lovely ornate box here. And inside the box are some items. There is a piece of paper, which is actually a photograph, and there is a black bag and a smaller brown box. And who's ever shuffling cards right now, please mute yourself, because that is kind of rude. Thank you. Anywho, here I have a picture of a young girl from the late 1800s. Her name was Annabelle Dooley. And I'm not going to get into the whole story tonight, but briefly, she was the only witness to the murder of her mother and father, and was found covered in their blood, holding the murder weapon. She was not charged because she was a minor, but she was placed in a what will be known as a bedroom hospital, and was there for her entire life. And it's a rather tragic story, from the way she was treated to the way, well, starting with the way she was accused in the beginning, but while she was in the hospital, they really mistreated this young lady. And she learned to cope with being in hell by becoming a witch. And you may notice she's holding something in her hand. It is a puppet or a doll, which I have a replica of in this box right here. And we will come back to that in a moment. There's also a brass key, which is also velvet. But in this black bag, which I'd like to show you first, is a small deck of, I mean, they are cards. I don't want to call them cards. They are different images. And I'll show them to you a little bit at greater length in a second. I would like to note that I have an envelope here that does say open only if necessary. And hopefully it won't be necessary, because the last time I did that, I lost my hair. 5, 6, 7, 8. Thank you, Anthony, for laughing. But I might not have lost my hair, but it was equally tragic. It was equally tragic. Okay, but I just want to so let me put this envelope here under my picture, so it'll be in the shot the entire time. So we have like a dagger, and we have a human heart, and here's a rat, and here's a candlestick or a candle. There's an umbrella, and supposedly these images were found in a small hole that was dug out with something sharp. We don't really know what it was, but it was found in the hospital room where young Annabelle was housed. And to show you a couple more here, there's a factory that was across the street. There's an antidote. There's the moon. Oh, wait a minute. This one is not supposed to be in here. This is a puppet, and this is not supposed to be in the deck. So I'm just going to place that right here for now, okay? And I'll just show you the rest of this real quick. There's a stick, a trumpet, an eye, a pentagram, a boy, a pipe, an axe, a cat, a flower, a tiger, a devil, a house, a snake, a skull, a storm, an iceberg, tooth, bell, pitchfork, shovel, ribbon, boot, ear, sun, Saturn, an ankh, a mirror, a wheel, a chalice, a bee, a star, a moth, and a key. Right? So if I give these a quick mix, can somebody find me a volunteer as I mix these up? And just put them beside me. That would be great. Doesn't really matter who. Take your time. And I think or who else?
I can help Tommy if you want.
Well, it would be nice if, yeah, we can use you. Sure.
I mean, someone else can if they want.
No, it's all right. We can bring this up.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, so yeah, so I don't know how to get in here because I took the pocket out, and there's a reason why, because inside the smaller box, then please, I have a replica of the one that Annabelle had in her hand. This is not.
Oh, right.
Okay. Not the actual one, but I had somebody in Greece hand make this for me, and I've actually carried this around for years as like a, I don't know if you know what a puppet is for, but it's almost like a warrior stone where you.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So it has a lot of energy in it. It not only has positive energy, but I guess you might say I have some negative energy in here as well. But we're going to use the puppet to try and find a card. But first, you need to stop me anywhere you want.
Okay. Stop.
Okay, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to look away. I don't
Got
know.
it.
Got it? Okay, I'm just going to close that like that. And we'll mix it up a little bit more. Right. And I will spread them out this way. And don't worry about whether or not you can see your cards, because we're going to go through all of them. But I was just going to lay the puppet on my hand like this. And as I bring the puppet over the cards, we'll see if it reacts to any one of these cards. So far I'm not feeling anything, but let's just mix these up a little bit. And all right, so let's do it like this. I'll just run my head around along it. Oh, wait a second.
Well, standing up.
Yes, it is. I was actually not expecting this to happen. No, I'm actually getting goosebumps right now. This is really.
Tommy.
My hand is right above one card. Was the key? Was that the?
It was the key. Yes.
That's really. Let's see. Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Okay. I'm going to place that back in the box because that kind of is freaking me out a little bit. Okay, so now if you remember that I took the puppet card out of the deck long before it started, right? and so here's the wait.
Does that say blood?
Wow, it actually does say blood, and the puppet is missing. Okay, so this is really getting freaking out. Now, if you remember, I've had this envelope from the beginning as well, and if I reach inside there, there's one card. Oh Jesus! Okay, so okay, all right. So I'm getting the feeling that maybe Annabelle might be here with us. This key was found in her possession. Nobody knows exactly where it came from, but I'm just going to rest the key on my finger like this, and hopefully you'll be able to see. Hopefully you'll be able to see this.
Okay.
Annabelle, if you were with me right now, please give us a sign. Perhaps maybe. Oh my God! Look.
Whoa.
The key
Wait,
is.
is that moving?
Yes, it's actually turning on my fingers. Oh my God! This is. I am actually. I am really freaking out right now. You've never heard me say this, in the show before, but look, it's actually turning on my finger. And I'm not doing anything. Whoa.
Whoa.
All right,
Tell
so
me how.
let me catch my breath here.
Wow.
Yeah, well, okay, so this is going to be part one, I suppose, and we'll come back to part two next Tuesday night, and hopefully we'll.
Okay. All right. Part two. I'll be there. See. Thank you, Tommy. That was really good. Thank you. Wow.
Oh, my hands were getting raw there, clapping. Thanks very much, Tommy. Joking aside, though, Tommy's show is 11 p.m. UK time on a Tuesday night, and absolutely well worth the visit. So watch my Facebook page, because I always put a link on there to grab tickets for that. Thank you, Tommy. And yes, George, very spooky. Right, so it's just about time for me to finish the show up with, and just having a quick look at the other screen with the gallery. I need a helper, and I think someone sensible and calm. David Minton, do you want to help me? As soon as I said sensible, you smiled, so it had to be you, didn't it?
There we go. I'll be calm at least.
Oh, it's doing it again. So, Stuart, I will attempt to grab David.
Not again.
I thought I'd hear myself saying that. There we go. Hi there, David.
Oh, and I've not in focus. There we go. Hello.
David, we're going to do a couple of very silly little sort of competition-y type things to end the evening up on. Been a long night. I'm going to be brief and quick and just have a little bit of fun with you. So we go to table cam and pack of cards. Ta-da! That was it. So you're going to select a card. I'll give these a sloppy mix, and you're going to select a card, and then I'm going to have 3 goes at getting the card. Yeah.
Okay.
And there's a prize. There's a prize, David. There's always a prize. In my little wallet here, I have. It's not my Amex card. You're not going to have that. But I have a Starbucks card here.
Oh yes.
Which I have charged with a tenner of my own, with my own money. Yeah.
Okay. Excellent.
So we'll just put that out there. And if you If I don't get your card in 3 goes, you win the Starbucks card.
Excellent.
Okay,
Lovely.
so David, just choose a card in a nice, simple way. I'll riffle down, you say stop.
Stop.
There, that'll do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, here's your card. Now, I'm not going to look at it, because obviously I'm going to find it. So I'm going to take my glasses off, put my hand over my face, and bring the card up, and then drop it back on the pack. So
Okay.
at the moment, everything is blurry. I'm going to do this, so you're going to have to
That's my
guide me.
camera.
You're going to have to guide me to where is that? Hopefully I'll put that
I've got
in front
that.
of the camera. You got that?
Lovely.
So, and we will put it into the pack and give it another mix. So here comes the magic, David. Here comes the magic. All I have to do is dead cut your card to the top of the pack. Ta-da! 10 of hearts.
No.
No?
No, that's not the one.
I know what it was. Not the top, the bottom. Queen of spades.
This is not the bottom either. 50 to go.
Three goes, I said. 3 goes. And
one more.
I said 3 goes and you win the Starbucks card.
Yes.
Was that your card?
That was my card. Very good, Kevin.
Oh, okay. One more thing. We'll stick with the same pack of cards, and you're going to select a card in a really fair way. I'm just going to go through and you'll choose it, and to make sure that I'm not doing any jiggery pokery and changing the cards, we're going to sign it or something, and you're going to choose the color as well. So let's just go through, and one request, David. Please don't be difficult and choose a picture card, because we're going to try and sign the card and make it individual to you. So if it's a picture card, you can be difficult and choose a picture card. We're not going to try and squeeze it in around the edges, but best if you choose a card.
That one, the 6 of diamonds or something.
That 6 of diamonds, that one?
Yeah, there we go.
Okay. David, choose a color.
Green.
Green.
Yeah. Have you got your chroma key on? We'll go green.
Not on this camera, you see.
There we go.
So, what do we want to write on here? Do I put your name or something else?
Tangerine.
Can you spell that for me?
TANG.
Yeah.
ERINE.
INE.
It's a dream.
So that's that is definitely your card. Yeah. Oh, hang on. There's someone in the waiting room, which we will let in. No distraction there, David.
Yeah, it's good misdirection.
Yeah, good. I'm going to stand up, but because the card is signed, I can't swap it out in between. But I will try now, David. We'll try this again. So there, we're on that camera, aren't we? There's your tangerine card, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's got your signature on it.
It has.
And we're going to put it in the pack.
Yeah.
The reason I did it again, because I kept going off shot, and I want this to stay in shot all the time. And it's really difficult doing this on Zoom. This is a live thing. And we'll put it in the box. Okay. Now, here comes the competition bit. Okay. Put the flaps down before you close the lid, Kevin.
Always watch the flaps.
So I'm going to put this in my pocket, David.
Yep.
And the idea is for me to get the card out of the box, and you're going to, while it's in my pocket.
Yep.
From the middle of the deck.
Impossible.
And so you're going to give me a time to do it in. So give us a time. How long do you reckon?
Well, I think it's impossible, but let's say 12 seconds.
Okay. So are you going to do the timing?
Yeah.
Okay, so you start counting.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's unbelievable.
Right.
That's
That
my
was the
card.
easy way. That was the easy way. Okay. Shall we do it again, but make it more difficult?
Okay.
Okay.
That's pretty
I'll
difficult.
explain what. We just need to get, we need a card, but don't do this in tight jeans, by the way, because let me just go back to the table. I'll explain why how we're going to make this more difficult. We're going to keep the cards in the box.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to bury your card somewhere in the middle.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm going to let you see right for the last minute.
Yep.
Right in the middle.
Yes.
And then we're going to put some elastic bands around it. Now, David, while I'm doing this, how many seconds do you think it'll take me to do it this time with the elastic bands?
Am I going to have to count?
Yep.
7.
David, you serious? 7?
No, well, no, I think it's impossible.
The
21.
scenery is falling apart here.
21.
Okay, so from when let's just go back to the other camera, just keeping the box there in shot.
Yes.
Okay, so how long are you giving me?
Well, they're not going in the jeans again, are they?
Yep,
21.
in the jeans.
Oh,
how long are you giving me?
21.
21 seconds.
Yes.
To get the card out of the box with your signature on it.
Kevin. Amazing.
Thank you. Thanks, David.
Blimey.
Whoa, what
Is
an
Megan
evening
still
we've
on
had.
the call?
What an evening.
AIMC, Silver Star. There you go.
Oh, dear. Oh, he's back. What's happening? Zoom is playing. Zoom. There we go.
I've gone.
I'm back.
You're back.
Thank you, David. That was brilliant. So thank you very much to Robin, to Michael Kelly, to George, to Gunnar, to Alan, to Andy, to Magic Mitch, to Tommy Burnett, and of course to our fabulous guest for imparting so much wisdom and giving us so much fun in the middle of the evening, the wonderful Megan Swann. Thank you, Megan. It was a pleasure to interview you tonight. And to everybody else, from all of us here, thanks. Magicians, if you're a magician, please stick around while we chat on into the night. Non-magicians, as we always say, the exits are here, here, and here. From all of us. Oh, on Facebook. Bye, Facebook. And kill the recording.